Queen Liliuokalani by myself. The central question is, how did the effects of the U.S. military invasion affect what Hawaii is today? Overview. First slide will be about the history of Queen Liliuokalani. The second, what led up to why the U.S. wanted to invade Hawaii. Third, the timeline. Four, loss of Hawaiian sovereignty. Fifth, economic shifts, plantations to tourism. And last but not least, my last remarks. History of Queen Liliuokalani. She was born September 2nd, 1838 in Honolulu. She was educated and raised in the Hawaiian royal court. She became Queen of Hawaii in 1891 after the death of her brother King Kalakaua. She tried to restore power to Native Hawaiians with a new constitution. She was overthrown in 1893 by American businessmen and U.S. Marines. She was imprisoned in Lolani Palace in 1895 after a failed uprising. She wrote Aloha Oe, a famous Hawaiian song, and her memoir Hawaii's Story by Hawaii's Queen. She died in 1917 and was remembered as a symbol of Hawaiian resistance and dignity. Here shown is an image of me with the Queen Liliuokalani statue at the state capitol in Honolulu. What led up to why the U.S. wanted to invade Hawaii? Hawaii equaled the sovereign kingdom. U.S. wanted military base plus sugar profits. McKinley tariff hurt sugar businesses. Queen Liliuokalani was overthrown in 1893, and the U.S. annexed Hawaii in Queen Liliuokalani was overthrown in 1893, and the U.S. annexed Hawaii in 1898 without Hawaiian consent. The image to the right shows U.S. Marines were present at the Hawaiian annexation ceremonies on August 12, 1898. Before the U.S. invaded Hawaii, we were our own independent kingdom with our own monarchy, culture, and government. But because of Hawaii's location in the Pacific and our strong sugar economy, American businessmen and the U.S. government started seeing us as a tool for power and profit. When the McKinley Tariff Act passed in 1890, it made imported sugar more expensive, which hurt those American-owned plantations in Hawaii. To fix that, they pushed for Hawaii to be annexed so they wouldn't lose money. That's when they organized a group called the Committee of Safety and used U.S. Marines to legally overthrow Queen Liliuokalani in 1893. She gave up on the throne peacefully to avoid bloodshed, but she never gave up on her people. Even though President Cleveland said the overthrow was wrong, the U.S. still annexed Hawaii in 1898 under President McKinley without any vote or consent from Hawaiians. Timeline of events. In 1887, the Beyond Constitution. This stripped King Kalakaua power of the Hawaiian monarchy of its power and increased the influence of the American and European elites in the Hawaiian politics. January 17, 1893. Overthrow of Queen Liliuokalani. American and European settlers, backed up by U.S. Marines, overthrew Queen Liliuokalani. The Queen stepped down under protest, recognizing the overwhelming U.S. military presence. February 1st, 1893. Provisional government formed. Sanford B. Dole led a new provisional government, recognized by the U.S. minister. A treaty for annexation was sent to the U.S., but withdrawn by President Cleveland, who opposed the takeover. On March 11, 1893, the Blunt Report. President Cleveland ordered an investigation. The Blunt Report found the U.S. acted illegally in aiding the overthrow and recommended restoring the Queen. July 4, 1894, Republic of Hawaii declared. The provisional government refused to return power to the Queen and instead established the Republic of Hawaii, with Dole as president pushing for U.S. annexation. 1897. Kue petitions. Over 21,000 Native Hawaiians signed petitions against annexation. These were sent to the U.S. Senate showing strong local resistance. July 7, 1898. New Lands Resolution. During the Spanish-American War, Hawaii's strategic value as a military base led the U.S. to pass the New Lands Resolution, officially annexing Hawaii without needing a treaty. April 30, 1900. Organic Act establishes Territory of Hawaii. The Organic Act organized the Territory of Hawaii, providing a territorial government and granting U.S. citizenship of Hawaiian residents. August 21st, 1959. Hawaii becomes the 50th U.S. state. After decades as a U.S. territory, Hawaii was admitted to the Union as the 50th state, following a statehood referendum. The loss of Hawaiian sovereignty. Before Hawaii was part of the U.S., we were a strong, sovereign kingdom with our own laws, language, and a ruling queen, Queen Liliuokalani. In 1893, U.S. businessmen who wanted more control over land and money worked with the U.S. military to illegally overthrow her. The Queen gave up her throne to protect her people, but it was never because she agreed with what happened. By 1898, the U.S. fully annexed Hawaii, even though Native Hawaiians protested, and overthrow was known to be illegal. We weren't just taken, we were silenced. Even now, Native Hawaiians are still standing up to protect our land, culture, and rights. Some want full independence, and some want federal recognition. But all of us want justice for what was done. Today, Native Hawaiians still fight for reparations and sometimes independence. Economic shifts, plantations to tourism. Before, Hawaii's economy is centered on sugar and pineapple plantations. They were everything. They made huge profits, mostly for American business owners, while immigrant workers labored in hard conditions. But by 1950s, the plantation economy began to decline. After Hawaii became a U.S. state in 1959, the focus shifted hard toward tourism. hotels, airports, and resorts popped up fast, and Hawaii was sold as a tropical vacation dream. This chart shows how tourism now dominates our economy. You can see that almost half of all visitor days happen on Oahu alone, especially in places like Waikiki. That might sound great for businesses, but for locals, especially native Hawaiians, it's complicated. Tourism causes traffic, overcrowding, rising housing costs, and misuse of sacred lands. So even though it brings in money, it also continues a cycle of taking from Hawaiians without giving back. Here is presented a chart of total Hawaii visitor arrivals. In dark blue is arrivals from 2024, which is predominantly increased throughout all the islands. 2023 is in green, and 2019 is in gray. The travel outlook for Hawaii in 2025 and 2026 presents a very cautious, optimistic picture with varying recovery trajectories across the islands, particularly for Maui following the 2023 wildfires. Visitor numbers and spending. The statewide trends, Hawaii's tourism sector is projected to experience modest growth, with visitor arrivals expected to expand by nearly 3% in 2025. However, a full return to pre-pandemic levels may not occur until 2027. The economic contributions. The tourism industry remains a vital component of Hawaii's economy, with visitor spending anticipated to increase from 21.1 billion in 2023 to 23.6 billion by 2026. Here I have added a quote from the Queen Liliuokalani. She says, "The cause of Hawaii and independence is larger than the life of any man connected with it. Love of country is deep-seated in the breast of every Hawaiian, whatever his station." And I just thought this was very powerful to add and shows just the trajectory of political shifts, especially during this reign of time. And here are my last remarks. The U.S. had helped overthrow Queen Liliuokalani in 1893. Hawaii lost its sovereignty and was annexed without consent. Land that was once nurtured and cared for by the Hawaiians was taken from plantations, then tourism. Today's economy centers on tourism, not the needs of native people. Sacred lands are developed, and many locals can't afford to live in Hawaii. Native Hawaiians still fight for recognition, land, and cultural survival. And the invasion created long-lasting harm, but also sparked resistance. The Hawaiian stories are still rising and deeply rooted to be heard. Mahalo. Thank you. And these are references, my references and sites. Mahalo.